The Tyne and Wear Derby, one of the few recorded times in history where war has took place on a football pitch, leaving damage across an entire county. It's named after the two rivers that run through the cities, the River Tyne, which flows through Newcastle, and the River Wear, which flows through Sunderland. The derby all stems back as early as 1350, where Newcastle, a predominantly coal-oriented city, was given a royal stamp by the king at the time, leaving them as one of the most important coal cities in England, and the only ones who could sell coal from the River Tyne. Sunderland was primarily known for producing salt, which they did by boiling seawater at high temperatures. Since coal was a necessity for this, Newcastle's royal stamp became a huge problem for Sunderland, which became the starting point for their competition. One of the reasons for the derby being so heated is due to the cities only being 12 miles apart, making it one of the closest derbies in England that isn't within the same city. It is also arguably the closest derby in terms of results. Both sides have played each other 157 times, with Newcastle slightly edging out Sunderland 54 to 53 wins. The most recent match in 2024 tipping Newcastle over the line. They also share 50 draws between them. Recently, thanks to the third round FA Cup draw in the 23-24 season, the famous Tyne and Wear Derby was finally able to take place for the first time since March 2016. Although it ended in a rainy day for the Macrams, they can all agree that experiencing the atmosphere of a derby for the first time in 8 years was absolutely exhilarating. However, I'm sure you're all familiar with the recent history of the Tyne and Wear Derby, but what about the past? What about the origins? What about the first spark that lit the fire of Tyne and Wear football matches? First, let's talk about the first instances of the Tyne and Wear Derby taking place in a football setting. The two clubs met for the first time in 1883, where at the time they went by Sunderland and Newcastle East End. Although their first professional competitive match was an FA Cup tie in 1888, where Sunderland came out as victors, beating Newcastle East End 2-0. Let's fast forward 13 years to Good Friday 1901. The Tyne and Wear Derby was set to take place at St James's Park. However, trouble arrived when up to 120,000 fans arrived at the stadium, which at the time had a roughly 30,000 capacity. Because of this, the match had to be abandoned as there were more fans on the pitch than in the stands. But now, since we've talked about the biggest attendances, why don't we talk about the biggest results? In 1908, Newcastle United arrived at their home stadium, St James's Park, ready for the derby. What they weren't ready for, however, was the 9-1 thrashing that was handed to them by Sunderland, which for now is most likely not only the largest defeat that Newcastle have ever had, but also the largest derby win in the history of English football. Newcastle would eventually get their revenge, however, as not only did they beat Sunderland 6-1 in 1920, they went and did it again in 1950. Between the 80s and the early 2000s, when football hooliganism was running rampant in England, one of the worst instances of violence took place. In 2002, the Sunderland Ultras group, the Seaburn Casuals, met up with the Newcastle Ultras group, the Newcastle Gremlins, in North Shields. What ensued was a terrible and bloody fight, resulting in dozens of arrests and even someone being left with lifelong damage. Some reporters at the scene even referred to the event as something out of Braveheart. On a lighter note, for some fans, the past 20 years have been host to the biggest showcases of the derby dominance that we've seen from either club. Between 2002 and 2006, Newcastle United beat Sunderland 5 times in a row, a record at the time of the Tyne and Wear Derby. Just 7 years later though, this will be beaten, as Sunderland were going to beat Newcastle 6 times in a row between 2013 and 2015. The final derby that took place in the league was in the 2016-17 season, where the sides drew 1-0 in March. And Sunderland, that same season, will be relegated to the Championship and are still yet to make a return to the top flight of English football.
Good.
Right, so
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
right. So I wondering how much do you think you know about Newcastle football?
Quite a lot. My Very big fan. Big fan.
Okay, so how long have you supported the club?
Oh man, few years. I gotta say 2021.
So we've got a little quiz for you here.
Alright.
So first question, easy one. Who is Newcastle United's all-time top goal scorer?
Oh come on, man. Shearer.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so similar one. Who is the all-time top assister of Newcastle United?
I'm gonna say Bruno
Mars. That's incorrect.
No,
Roberto Solano, you heard him?
no, I don't think so. No.
What's your choice?
Yeah. I can name them. So, what was it? The Stella Cup. I watched that one, and there was the Carabao Cup final. I didn't watch all that game, but they won it, didn't they?
Yeah. So, the next question, to the nearest thousand, what is the capacity of St James's Park?
It's like 60k, man. It's massive.
Not far off, about 52,000. So, now, a bit of a different one. What is the name of Newcastle's Old Jazz group?
Hey, man, everyone knows this one. It's the Magpies.
No, that's just what the fans are called. The Old Jazz group is the Newcastle Gremlins.
Oh.
I'm sure you might have thought you might hear them given how much of a big fan you are.
Yeah, I knew they would slip my mind,
What is the name of the current owner of Newcastle United?
Hey, man. He's my homeboy, Mohammed bin Salman.
Yeah, that's correct.
I know.
So, I hope you know that. Now, so, can you name the starting lineup from the 2023 Carabao Cup final?
Yeah. So what? Up striker we had like Joe Levy. You know him? Got to say that the bald guy, John Joe Shelby. Yeah. He was there. We had Alan Saint Maximin.
Yeah,
he was there too. I think. Yeah. I know him. He's good. I feel like. I'm trying to think quite tricky here. I think they had Isaac, didn't they? They had Isaac.
Yeah.
He was playing. Was he a defender?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I remember him. I feel like, man, what's the guy called? Do you know that one guy?
That one guy, yeah.
The midfielder. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just count him. Everyone knows who that is.
Yeah. Beard Moore. Yeah. He's a cool player. And there was Pope,
yeah.
the left back.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
Oh, that's all for today. So thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good day.